Hey,
Good morning.
good morning. Okay, now I get it. I'm like, I don't
The
know what
the
to do.
the second road is okay.
Here, let me turn this speaker on. Let's see if I can hear you a little bit better. Hang on a second. See if this works.
Well, perfect.
Morning.
Hello, we are here in Barcelona.
Okay, that's pretty loud. Hang on. Say something again.
Yeah. Hello,
Yeah.
it's me. How are you?
I'm
Good
good.
morning, coffee time.
Good morning. What's happening?
Not so much rock times. I can't hear you. I can't hear you now.
Yeah. Hey,
Well,
are we live? Is
no,
this
perfect. Yeah, this is live.
okay? I'm gonna.
This is way better this way.
Yeah, you can hear me?
I can hear you okay. It's just, it's on my phone. I would normally
Perfect.
do this on my computer, but dude, I suck at Instagram. I guess I'm just
Yeah,
that old guy.
yeah.
I was doing pretty well up until trying to do stuff on Instagram. I
So
totally suck at it.
re really, thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
Excuses about my English. I tried to do with my best version, but
No.
I think I understand more than I can talk.
Me too.
So really thanks, because you say you don't like Instagram and this
Oh, it's not
this
that I don't like it. It's just that, Anyway. Oops. Well, how's it going?
It's okay for me. It's okay now.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Chump Fest.
Yeah, there's a festival out at Marymore Park. It's this beautiful place in Seattle. And Chomp is like an organization run by this guy Kevin Sir and some really good folks. And they're they do good things around the community, and especially during the pandemic, they were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were the first people I saw do live streams. That seems like old
Yeah.
hat now, but that was really, they were really at the forefront of all that stuff when it was, when people first started doing that. It was the first time I ever saw a digital tip jar. These guys that, the Chomp people. So they're really great. And so they're doing an actual festival finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tecla
I'm sorry?
with Jeff Fielder.
Yeah.
Drive-by Truckers.
Yeah, Drive-by Truckers.
And Brett Benton and Maya Marino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a great day.
Yeah.
And it's all over by 6 o'clock, which is, I think people might like that. And it's totally free. You get to go see the Drive-by Truckers for free. That's
Wow.
unbelievable,
And you with Tecla.
And then
I
us,
think.
yeah, absolutely. We got a good set point.
Maybe with the pandemic, you have the time to make the songs with Tecla and produce that album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we made, we were doing quite a bit, but I was on the road a lot in the before times. And then, when everything shut down in 2020, we panicked for a couple days, and then we just, we had to figure it out. And I'm lucky to have this place down here in the basement. I kind of made it a studio. I spent a lot of time down here. And we made the Trouble in Time record down here. I'm really proud of that record. And we did it in 2020. I think we started, the songs were written sort of at the beginning of everything, and then it was all finished and released by November of that same year. So it was a pretty quick turnaround for writing, recording, putting it all together.
Playing drums, guitar,
drums over here, yeah.
Producing.
Yeah, man.
The experience positive.
Yeah, 2020 as a whole, it was crazy, but I look back at it kind of fondly, because it really, kicked people in the butt to, try different things and, you know, just kind of see what you're made of, you know.
Yeah.
2021, not so much, you know. I don't know about all the residuals from all that, but on a personal level, you know, I look back on it pretty fondly, just because, you know, it made me and my wife closer than we were, if that's even possible, you know. We had a really, you know, we're good together, so we were okay to be kind of stuck together for that time. And yeah, you know, I don't know, but yeah, we made it through it somehow.
The album have this sound with no weight, like classic albums.
Yeah.
The songs are the most important.
Yeah.
That natural feelings. I think it's so special for me.
Oh, I'm glad you think so. Thank you. That's great. All the way over in Barcelona.
You play with big names, but in this album, you can make all the things that you have learned around 25 years playing guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, with any music now. I mean, I just did some stuff with some guys this last couple of days. I've had a busy schedule this week, these long studio days, you know. And that it goes with anything. I was thinking that while we were recording, it's nice to have a lot of experience doing stuff, because I don't know, it makes the recording process funner, because, you know, you just kind of know what to expect and know how to make things run smoothly and all that stuff, and that makes the artist feel really comfortable or whatnot. I don't know. It's just, yeah, I've been very fortunate with all that kind of thing. You know, got to make a lot of records and make a lot of sound.
Maybe start with little ideas and make all the arrangements and
yeah. And just, you know, and just be open to ideas, you know. I think that's the biggest thing, is to be kind of, you know, open to try all kinds of things. It'll land in the right spot, you know, eventually, you know. I used to be kind of a hothead. No, it has to be like that. And once I let all that go, then everything got a lot easier, just in life in general.
Yeah. Pablo says, don't have audio, but I can hear you. You can hear me.
I can hear you.
So Pablo, maybe it's your problem. Try to.
I hope people can hear it. I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear us.
What time is it there in Barcelona? What time of day is it?
7 p.m.
Okay, great.
It's great time.
Yeah, it looks nice there. Like
yeah.
Sun is low.
A lot of hot. So much hot.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it. In the album, in Turbulent Time, for me, Alaska is there, Seattle is there, the woods, the fog, the rain.
The fog, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good. I'm glad that's coming through, you know. Alaska is you've probably never been there. It's an amazing place. Both me and my wife are from there. Grew up there. And yeah, you know, I think it's still just that kind of feeling that it's very still, you know, very untouched, a lot of it, you know. So anytime we can tap into that, because it's chaotic here in Seattle.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
So anytime we can tap into that, that feeling, you know, that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, maybe like the grass, rain,
nature,
all that.
Nature,
natural.
Nature in general.
Yeah. The air in the album, I can hear the silence, the air, the space. It's like being in that room and listen you and Tecla playing.
Oh, thanks. That's cool. I'm glad that's translating. That's what we wanted, you know.
It's the object.
Good. I'm glad.
With now you are in touring with many projects.
Yeah, we're back. We're back doing the gigs.
Yeah. Happy touring again, playing live. With the start of the pandemic, you say in an interview It's hard to you to stay at home, no tour, no lives, no
Yeah.
concerts, more than the money, the money things, no?
Well,
The feelings of playing, touring,
yeah,
being
it's always
creative.
that, I mean, it becomes your life, so and your livelihood, so when everything disappeared there for a minute, longer than a minute, yeah, it was a little freaky. And then once we started figuring out that, yeah, I miss traveling somewhat. Even before the pandemic, I was thinking of slowing it down. With Lanigan, I would tour. We toured a lot, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially those last few years, And so it wouldn't be unusual for me to be gone half the year, broken up about it, but still like 6 months, maybe 7 months out of the year. And it got to be a bit much,
Yeah.
So I wanted to dial it back. But then 2 years of going nowhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bit extreme too. So I think that there's a nice balance right now. And I'm playing with some really great people, and they're short. People tend to go on short runs now. It's like 2 weeks at a time and then come home, so that's a little bit more palatable. My wife likes that a lot better too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That familiar thing, no? Touring, being creative, make music, and the family.
Yeah, the family. It's a big deal. We're having a kid. I don't know if anybody knows that, but whatever. That's part of the story here. Is we're having a baby.
Yeah.
My first baby, at the end of October. So it's coming right.
Yeah.
And so Daddy's got to bring home the bacon.
Is your first?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm moving.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go. The child's are like thrash metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then no stop.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll meet again in December or January, see how it's going.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Wow. Enjoy. The more
Thanks,
important
yeah.
is enjoy.
I'm excited, yeah.
Try to enjoy is a special thing, a special decision, and enjoy it.
That's great. Yeah.
I don't know anything, but enjoy it.
Okay.
The roots in your music, in your style of playing guitar, so important, no? That roots, that folk, and maybe the collision or the influences of the 85 to 94 in Seattle, that times the first post-punk rock scene, or the early days of the grunge and the explosion of the city.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, gosh, that was such a long time ago, but I remember all that pretty well. I was in school. So I'm from Alaska, and then in junior high, moved to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And my exposure to because I was well into music, and then just all music, it kind of didn't matter. But I was mostly into old blues music and kind of, your Beatles and Stones and Led Zeppelin, sort of the cornerstones, a lot of Jimi Hendrix. And then I was into kind of hard rock. But my exposure to punk rock, there was this show, it used to be on like public access and UHF channels, was called Bomb Shelter Videos. And it played all hardcore videos. And this was like in the late 80s into the early 90s. And I used to love that show. And I got into skate videos, like that kind of lo-fi, handheld video thing that accompanied punk rock and hardcore and stuff like that. I just love the look of it all, I never wanted to really play that kind of stuff, but I really dug the whole look of it and the scene of it and the people and the tattoos and all that. Back then, that was really like, you know, kind of shocking and taboo. And I always liked that kind of thing, you know. And that was the first time I saw Soundgarden was on Bomb Shelter Videos. They played the video for Loud Love.
Wow.
It was different than everything else on there because they had long hair and that wasn't really cool. You know what I mean? At that particular time. But yeah, and then I remember thinking, wow, that Soundgarden. I still saw that when I was still in Alaska. And then I figured it out when I got here that they were from here. They were kind of my first exposure to anything from Seattle, as far as that, you know, what ended up grunge. And then as it kind of all started to happen in real time, you know, I remember watching that Nirvana video and knowing that everything was going to change. That was a trip, you know. Something like that will never happen again. And I was probably a sophomore in high school when that came out. And yeah, it changed everything. And then that was our big, you know, by the time I was a senior in high school, you know, it was all about Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
It was just, that was what everybody was into. Everybody, the jocks and the nerds and the, you know what I mean? The whole school. And we were too young to go to clubs, but Alice in Chains would play in colleges, like college auditoriums. And so they were way easier to see. So we used to just follow them around, like in the summertime when school was out. We just used to follow Alice in Chains around because they were amazing. That was great getting to see them so many times back then, you know, and then kind of watch them sort of, you know, Lane kind of, you know, he was kind of hit and miss there for a minute. But yeah, I remember all that stuff pretty well. And we tried to be a part of it, but, you know, couldn't really get it. So we ended up doing stuff kind of, you know, way later. You know, we were doing stuff then, but we just couldn't quite hit it, you know, for whatever reason. Yeah. So
talking with Daniel, Larry Schemmel, well, with many of the people of that era, maybe the collaborative culture, and was the last big scene, because now I think it's impossible to scene without the social media, the mass media. There are people in those times making music, enjoying, and knowing the world,
right,
and learning and sharing artistic feelings and But now I think people is more influenced about they made a picture and those things, no, the likes, views.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is that it's like everything's very homogenized now, meaning that like Seattle had traditionally been in that time as well. It's so separate. It's so separate from the rest of the country because it's way up in the corner, and there's not a lot, you know, around here besides itself. And so it really had its own identity, you know. And now everything is one, you know. I mean, there's definitely regions to the country, but it's a lot different than it used to be, you know what I mean? Because that was it. I mean, it's like that was everybody's life was just their community, you know. And in places like Seattle, when there wasn't a whole lot of avenues out of there, then it really was condensed in those communities, you know what I mean? And then that's why it's so unique to itself, you know, because there wasn't any outside influences that were coming in, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was such a different thing because nobody cared what anybody thought over there or anywhere else, you know what I mean? It was just their friends or whatever, you know. And it made it really cool, you know. The 60s were the same way, kind of like with them.
Do you talk about the 60s? You talk about the Seattle scene in 60s in many interviews, and in 80s, 90s. What about 60s?
In Seattle, there was a great funk and R&B kind of like funk scene here in the early 70s and late 60s. And again, it was so kind of isolated that nobody knew about it. They just made there's a lot of bands that just made records for their friends or something. I don't know what they were trying to do. It's just like 40 times. These great, really garagey sounding, really kind of punky sounding funk music. It's really cool stuff. I couldn't name you any of the bands right off the top of my head, but I've got a bunch of those old records. And, really, really cool things, you know. Seattle was always real garage, you know, like the Sonics came from here, you know.
Yeah.
And just kind of that, like, you know, punk rock before punk rock was a thing, you know. Just screaming, there's the mics all distorted.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Cool, man. It's just something cool about all that stuff, you know.
And what's now in Seattle?
What's now? You hear? A lot of traffic and a lot of Amazon. Amazon.com. That's what's cracking in Seattle.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a place to park, you know.
The old pubs, maybe one Crocodile is now an hotel or another place of live concerts is now a motel or.
Oh, like a venue that's turned into something else. Yeah, you know, a lot of the venues that the really mainstays have all survived. I was really worried through the pandemic that a lot of the clubs wouldn't survive it, but they did. Now, you know, there was a lot of support to keep the clubs open, you know, and some of them were doing that well, you know, in 2019, much less 20 and 21. So we lost a few things, but for the most part, everything survives pretty well, you know.
Well,
and it's good to see things open again and people playing downtown and down at the Tractor and everything. Yeah, it's still happening. Great.
Nervous with the concert of tomorrow, with touring, with I read in Ohana Festival.
Yeah.
Painted Seal. Play.
Ohana got for some reason Ohana got not canceled, but it was a 4-day thing, and they made it a 2-day thing. So I think they just condensed all the headliners, and so all the bands in the small print aren't playing which included
in October.
Yeah.
In
the
October.
Painted Shield was supposed to play there, and then so that's not happening now. But that's okay.
With Nancy, you are touring now, Nancy.
Yeah, I just got off a tour with Nancy Wilson, and that was awesome. It's kind of surreal to me, you know, to be playing those songs with her. You know, she wrote all that stuff. It's amazing. Nancy Wilson from Art. Yeah, what a great band. They're all my friends that are in that band. It was like everybody but me for a long time. And I guess it was just inevitable that I would be in there somewhere. But yeah, we just did a kind of a run. It might have been kind of a test run for me on some level, but I think I passed. It was the band is really cool. Like, it's really kind of visceral, you know.
Yeah.
The rocks that like Barracuda just jams, man. It's so so good. Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah.
Last night I see the biopic. It's so easy.
Yeah.
You are there.
Yeah, I'm there.
You are there too. It's the same boy.
I just gotta show up places, you know. Surprise, yeah. Cool.
That phone call, that call.
When he called me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must have watched the Mike Squires thing, huh? Yeah, Duff just called me. Somebody kind of didn't warn me, but they told me Duff McKagan asked for your number. He's going to call you in the next week or so. And I was kind of prepared for it, but you know, I was still kind of felt like a little kid, you know, because I was so into Guns N' Roses. That was before all the Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains stuff. they were the first kind of really modern bands, because I was in all old music. And when Guns N' Roses came out, that was still in Alaska too. And man, what a record! I can remember the feeling of hearing it for the first time, and couldn't believe that it was new, you know, because every single song on it sounded like a classic song already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's happened a couple times in my life, and that was the first one I remember. I was like, I can't believe this is a new record. Especially at the time, I was really into Aerosmith, just for whatever reason, like really like the first couple Aerosmith records. And I was just a little kid listening to this stuff, you know what I mean? But that's what it reminded me most. It reminded me of most was just that kind of Aerosmith attitude. Slash in particular, I was just blown away. I still love that Slash. Anything he does, I think he's amazing. He's just incredible.
An awesome experience, no?
Say what?
An awesome experience.
Oh, I mean, meeting Duff was incredible, you know, just kind of like, and him reading the book all the time, because that was the show we were doing. And so he was sort of reading his story to us.
Yeah, it's so special.
It's a real situation, yeah.
It's real.
Yeah, just kind of like, can't believe this is happening.
And when people say about the Mopo Alice in Chains, you are the musical director? Or you are in the staff of the music?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So that thing was the Founders Awards is what you're talking about. And that was in I think it aired in 2021, but it was made all throughout 2020.
Yeah.
And that thing previously had been a yearly thing that nobody knew about it unless you lived in Seattle and knew about it, you know. And they would honor a different artist every year for about the last 15 years or so. And so I had been involved in that organization for much of that, you know, and I had been either just a player or on occasion, on maybe 3 other occasions, I was sort of musical director, you know, band leader, whatever, you know what I mean? I'll find myself in those roles sometimes, you know. So when this one came up, they asked me to do it. They thought I was the right guy. At the time, it was just a gig, like a, you know.
Yeah.
This was before anybody knew about COVID and all that, you know what I mean? So that was just going to be a gig, and that was going to be great, you know. And what that means is kind of, you know, just getting the band together more or less, you know, and making sure everybody's knows what's going on, you know what I mean? But when it all happened, it was like, well, we got to kind of reframe how we're going to do this. And at that point, I'd been doing so many videos here with Tekla and all that stuff. I kind of knew my way around all that thing. And so that was kind of extra benefit to them. I get, you know. So I was able to put the band together, which is coincidentally the same band that's in Nancy Wilson's band, more or less. Yeah. There's great players, and they're my dear friends, you know. So it was kind of a no-brainer. And so there was the 2 elements to that show, which was putting that band together and then playing the live stuff with Kim and various other, you know, Liv Warfield and all that stuff. And then there was the element to making the videos, which I was kind of put in charge of at first. And that was the thing we did with Lanigan, with Nutshell, and what else we do. I forget the other one, but yeah, that was cool. It was a lot of work. There was a lot of work, that thing. Yeah.
A lot of. That, you know, work with musicians is not easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, not all the
time. Some people talk about the not so important with the creative part, but the egos.
Yeah, you know, yeah. I mean,
try to understand the others, listen the others.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just mean, you know, but most people just want their they just want the gig to go off well. You know what I mean? They want to look good. They don't want to, they don't want to be put in a position where they can be embarrassed or anything like that. You know what I mean? And so there comes with that kind of a lot of shields, that people put up, kind of walls around themselves. You know what I mean? And that can be kind of looked at as ego. I've spent my life with these type of people. You know what I mean? So it doesn't shock me all that much if somebody's a little bit abrasive or something like that. It just kind of comes with the territory, and it's not all that often. It just doesn't bug me all that much. You know what I mean? Everybody's something. Now some people are just dicks, and that's just the way they are, and that's okay. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Good
most
days,
people
bad
just want
days.
the gig to go off well, and if something happens that's unprofessional or something like that, then some people do fly off the handle a little bit. Maybe they overreact and all that stuff. But, I just try to, personally, try to, just lay in the cut. Do my part okay, Whatever. It's okay.
You talked 1 year ago, in the 21 of August, you play with Alan Johansson.
Yeah, man, Alan's great. Really.
Alan is a little bit like you.
Yeah, I'll take that compliment. I like that. Yeah. I've always dug people like Alan. I remember I was aware of Alan the entire time. I was a big fan of 11. And I actually knew Natasha back in the day because I was friends with Dave Abraziz randomly after he left Pearl Jam, the drummer that was on Vitalogy and all. Great drummer and a really cool and funny guy. And he was friends with Alan and Natasha and brought me to LA on a couple occasions. And Alan was always gone, but Natasha was around and we got to be kind of good friends. She died a few years later of cancer, which was very, very sad. I got to know her pretty well, but I was obviously very aware of Alan. And I remember at that time they were making Euphoria,
Euphoria Morning.
Euphoria
Morning.
Yeah. And I remember hearing like the rough mixes of it. It was just amazing.
Oh.
It's really cool, yeah. But Alan, he's always been, he's one of those guys, that's just like always kind of, he just pops up. Oh, he's playing bass over there. Or he's like, he's just like, and I always love that because I'm not much for being in the spotlight. Like I don't have any desires to be really famous and on the cover of the magazine, at least anymore, but I do like the work, and I like, I really like to be behind it more, so.
The workers, no?
Huh?
Music workers.
Yeah, man. Gotta have them, but nothing gets done.
Yeah.
What I mean? But Alan's cool, man. Really good and just extremely talented.
Yeah.
And just a different way, of thinking about it. He thinks about it much more worldly. I think in terms of American music a lot of times, and like the British, rock and roll and all that kind of thing. He really expands out to like all kind of world music and all different instruments from different cultures and stuff like that. He's really in tune, man. Alan's he's in tune with the universe, man. He is Zen. And
he's so active in Instagram, making lives.
So active
with many instruments, guitars, small guitars, electric
little lutes and all kinds of weird fretless banjos and all kinds of things.
Delays, loops, finger picking, 12 strings, 8 strings, 3 strings, 1 string.
All the strings. But the thing is that, we know who Alan is, but down in Chile, he's all 4 Beatles in Chile. Like he is so famous and well respected. He's real respected everywhere, but in his home cities, man, he really is. He's like Elvis down there. Yeah. Which is good to see. It's good to see.
Yeah. With Pendant Seal, the first record for me it's that experience of a classic album with no age songs, classic songs. The second album too, I think is a new road, the first step in a new road to the band.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just the way. It's almost like a experiment in real time, because it's everybody's side project that's involved in it. Painted Shield we're talking about, right? And it's all, for the most part, I don't want to give away the mystery, but it's all remote recording, so everything gets sent around. You know what I mean? When we did that video stuff at the beginning of this year, that was the first time that everybody had played live together, you know, and then actually recorded some stuff that will hopefully end up on some record somewhere with all of us in the same room. But generally, even right now, they just send the tracks around, and everybody has a studio at home and is able to, you know, do what they can. And yeah, I think it's cool because like anything that it works like that, and it's really experimental. Like any ideas will go, you know, and so something like that's bound to take, you know, different roads and different approaches. You know,
seems like a free project, a place to put ideas, share new ideas, new concept of music, new textures, with the vocals, with the drums, with all. Yeah, everybody gets to really, that's the thing too, is that it's a lot different than what everybody does on their own. It's much different than Mason's solo music, you know, and then Chamberlain just goes off, man. He is the baddest drummer. Everybody knows that, but he can sequence, you know, keyboards and he just drops these tracks that are so freaky, man. He's the dopest drummer. He really is something. And he's really busy. He's playing with Brandi Carlile, who just never stops touring. Yeah.
So Chamberlain is busy. He's always busy, but particularly right now. We get to, with Amy Ray's band, we get to play a show with Brandi Carlile in September. So I get to see Matt, which I'm excited about. Yeah.
See, the men who never sleep.
No time. I just woke up just now.
No, not an option.
Not an option.
Maybe the comparisons with Brad, with the other band of Stone Gossard, with Sean Smith, with about Sean Smith. Sean, many years ago, I sent to him my songs, little songs or lo-fi, and he responds me. He says, it's cool, it's great,
cool.
Something like that. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, a very, very, very kind man.
Yes.
A very kind guy. Yeah. Very special guy.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Sean was great. I knew Sean pretty well. Was I in Brad? It was hard to say if I was ever in Brad properly. I played some guitar. I've just like done little things with Stone ever since we met, which is well over, gosh, when was that? It was 15 years ago now. It seems so not that long ago. But yeah, so I met Stone and Sean around the same time, you know, kind of these heady days, 2008, 2007, somewhere in there. And then did a lot of work with Sean. We probably should have been in a proper band together. I was a bass player in Satchel for one album.
Oh.
Yeah. Honey and Heartache, I think it's called, something like that. It's got a wolf on the cover. It's a cool record. I had a lot of fun doing it. That's right when I started playing with Lanigan. So I think it was I had to kind of make a choice, and, you know, that's just the way that worked out. But Sean was great. He was a very, very sweet guy. I got to play some music with him about a month before he died. And so I'm very thankful for that, you know.
Yeah.
And you know.
And those demos, those recordings are there?
Which ones?
And
with
Sean.
Yeah, he did some really cool records. That was the thing about him too, is he knew it. You know, he I don't think he was as well known as he should have been. You know, I mean, there's no reason that he should have ever been not doing exactly what he wanted to be doing. You know what I mean? You know, and I think he wanted to be touring and, you know, selling records and stuff like that. And I don't know, you know, to me, he's one of the greats, one of the great singers of all time.
Yeah,
really. Yeah.
And classic.
Absolutely, from day one. Yeah, that first Brad is still amazing. Still, and it still sounds new and whatever that means. It just, you know what I mean, it's timeless.
Yeah, timeless.
Yeah,
that's the word. Yeah. timeless music.
It really is.
One thing, with all the respect, today I can't talk about Mark Lanegan. I think things are, I think, better next year. Maybe we can talk about many years.
Yeah,
I prefer to talk today about that amazing and wonderful album with Tikla, you touring again, Penicil and your projects, because the relation with Mark was strong, many years, a friend. If you want, for me, today is perfect. For 45 minutes. The time is flying here.
Great, thank you for having me.
No. I want to say thanks, a big thanks to you, because you are one of those workers in music, working hard, and many projects with the big names. We speak about the big names,
not bad.
The middle names, but your music with that last album with Tikla, for me, is with the level of all the other projects.
Oh wow!
So congratulations!
Thank you, man.
For this. And if you want to say something, or you are too bossy, tomorrow concerts are in many tours at the same time, new records, a baby coming.
Let's do it. Take it on home. No, I just appreciate it. I appreciate all of it, man. I appreciate you having me on the show. And
no, thanks.
Instagram, what's up?
A big hack. Enjoy the concerts.
Thank you.
Enjoy the music like always.
I will.
And a big hack for you and your family.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Back at you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay.
Big hack.
Peace.
Bye.